They look peaceful now. Snow-covered peaks, scenic hiking trails, perfect postcard views, mountains, people climb, photograph, and build entire cities around. But volcanoes don't die, they wait. Across the planet, millions of people live beside, and sometimes directly on top of volcanoes officially labeled dormant. Not extinct, not safe, just quiet. And that word quiet is where the danger begins. Because silence creates comfort. Comfort creates confidence. And confidence creates cities, where cities probably shouldn't exist. Here's the unsettling reality. Some of the most dangerous volcanoes on Earth are the ones that haven't erupted in centuries. Their calm convinces us nothing will ever happen again. But what if one of them woke up tomorrow? Would scientists detect the warning signs in time? Would governments act fast enough? And would everyday people even recognize the danger before it's too late? Today, we're counting down the top 7 dormant volcanoes that could erupt tomorrow, and once you understand what dormant really means, you may never look at mountains the same way again. Number 7. Mount Fuji. Japan. Mount Fuji isn't just a mountain, it's a national symbol woven into Japanese art, religion, history, and identity. Millions of people climb it every year. Millions more live within its reach. But beneath that perfect symmetry lies a restless system. Mount Fuji last erupted in 1707, and that eruption didn't produce slow lava flows. It blasted ash across vast regions, destroyed crops, collapsed buildings, and reached areas that are now part of modern Tokyo. What's important here is timing. That eruption came after centuries of silence. No living memory, no warning culture, just a sudden reminder that Fuji was never dead. Today, scientists monitor subtle earthquakes, gas emissions, and underground pressure changes beneath the mountain. Magma chambers still exist. The system is dormant, not extinct. And here's the problem. Evacuating the region around Mount Fuji wouldn't involve thousands of people. It would involve millions, along with highways, rail systems, power grids, and one of the world's busiest metropolitan areas. So ask yourself this. If Fuji started showing warning signs tonight, would authorities act immediately or hesitate, hoping the mountain stays quiet just a little longer? Number 6. Mount Hood, USA. Oregon. Mount Hood feels familiar. It looms calmly over Oregon, a constant presence for locals. Ski resorts, hiking trails, quiet forests. Nothing about it feels threatening. Geologically, that calm is misleading. Mount Hood is classified as potentially active, with a history of eruptions over the last 1,500 years. And the real danger here isn't lava, it's speed. Mount Hood is covered in snow and ice. If volcanic heat suddenly melts that ice, it can trigger lahars, fast-moving walls of mud, rock, and debris that surge through river valleys. These aren't slow disasters. They don't wait. They don't give second chances. Entire communities downstream could have minutes to respond. Not ours. Early warning systems exist, but warnings only matter if people understand them and know what to do. So here's the uncomfortable question. How many people living near Mount Hood even realize evacuation routes exist, or that outrunning what's coming might not be possible at all? Number 5. Mount Kilimanjaro. Tanzania, to most of the world, Kilimanjaro is just a mountain. Africa's tallest peak, a bucket list climb, a snow-capped landmark near the equator. But Kilimanjaro isn't just one mountain, it's a dormant volcano made of 3 volcanic cones. And one of them, called Kibo, still shows signs of life, geothermal heat, gas emissions, subtle seismic activity. Nothing dramatic, nothing urgent. But volcanoes don't operate on human schedules. Magma beneath Kibo hasn't fully cooled, and while scientists don't expect an eruption anytime soon, history shows that long periods of quiet don't mean stability. An eruption here wouldn't just be a geological event. It would affect water sources, ecosystems, tourism, and regional economies across East Africa. And because Kilimanjaro feels so familiar, so iconic, it's easy to dismiss the risk entirely. So ask yourself, if early warning signs appeared, would the world react or brush them off because the mountain has been safe for so long? Number 4. Mount Teide, Canary Islands. Spain. Mount Teide dominates Tenerife. It rises above beaches, resorts, cruise ships, and busy airports. Millions of tourists visit every year, often unaware they're vacationing on an active volcanic island. Teide last erupted in 1909, which, in geological terms, is very recent. It sits on a volcanic hotspot capable of explosive activity, not just lava flows. Scientists closely monitor ground deformation, tiny movements that may signal magma rising toward the surface. Even a moderate eruption could create ash clouds, large enough to disrupt air travel across Europe and the Atlantic. Flights grounded, tourism frozen, supply chains interrupted, and unlike isolated volcanoes, Teide's risk is amplified by timing. What happens if warning signs appear during peak tourist season? Evacuations involving locals are one thing. evacuations involving millions of visitors, unfamiliar with the terrain or another. So here's the question. Would evacuation be calm and controlled or delayed until calm turns into chaos? Number 3. Mount Rainier, USA, Washington. Mount Rainier is breathtaking. It towers over Washington state, visible from miles away, and because it hasn't erupted in over 500 years, it barely registers as a threat. That silence is exactly what makes it dangerous. Mount Rainier is considered one of the most hazardous volcanoes in the United States, not because it erupts often, but because of what would happen if it did. Its massive glaciers could melt rapidly, generating enormous lahars capable of racing through valleys and reaching populated areas in under an hour. Entire towns sit directly in their projected paths. Sensors detect ongoing seismic activity, heat flow, and gas emissions beneath the mountain, all signs the system remains active. And yet, public awareness is low. So ask yourself this: is Mount Rainier America's most underestimated natural threat, simply because it hasn't demanded attention yet? Number 2. Mount Vesuvius, Italy. Vesuvius doesn't need an introduction. In 79 AD, it buried Pompeii and Herculaneum in ours. That disaster is studied, photographed, and remembered. And yet, today, more than 3 million people live within its danger zone. Vesuvius last erupted in 1944. Since then, pressure has been slowly rebuilding. Italy has evacuation plans, detailed, well-studied plans, but plans don't move people. Roads do, and roads clogged. Modern cities are dense. Panic spreads faster than lava, and evacuating millions of people under time pressure has never been tested at this scale. The real question isn't whether Vesuvius will erupt again. It's whether modern society will respond any better than ancient Rome did. So ask yourself, if Vesuvius awakens, will we prove we've learned or just document the disaster in higher resolution? Number 1. Yellowstone caldera. USA. Yellowstone isn't just a volcano, it's a super volcano. Its last major eruption, 640,000 years ago, reshaped North America. Ash spread across continents. Global temperatures dropped. Ecosystems collapsed. Today, Yellowstone is anything but quiet. The ground rises and falls. Geysers shift. Thousands of earthquakes occur every year. Magma moves beneath the surface on a massive scale. Scientists say there's no sign of an imminent eruption, and statistically, they're right. But statistics don't erase consequences. If Yellowstone erupted tomorrow, the effects wouldn't be local, they'd be global. Crop failures, supply chain disruption, years of climate instability. It wouldn't be an apocalypse, but it would be a reset. So here's the final question. Could modern civilization adapt fast enough, or would Yellowstone become humanity's ultimate stress test? Volcanoes don't announce themselves. They wait, and when they wake up, history changes. Which of these volcanoes worries you the most? Is there one you think should have made the list? Share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for more deep dives like this. And stay curious, because the planet beneath our feet is far more active than it appears.